And we're live.
Live.
Hello,
hi.
Hello, everyone. Human Connection Developers Community Meeting, Thursday, February 14th, 2019, here with Robert, Wolfgang, and Matt. And I was just opening up LibreOffice. I can take some notes. I guess, Robert, did you want to be the moderator today, or?
I can be if you want.
Sure.
You want to take notes, Matt?
Did I what? Yeah, I can take notes.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of I'm not that in sync anymore. Wolfgang, maybe you want to start. Tell me a little bit about your latest progress. I think I can remember that you resolved the Neo4j issues. Is that correct?
There were actually no Neo4j issues. You mean the one of Sam? You mean the Neo4j issues which Sam had and
Sam and the other person?
Lucas.
Lucas.
Lucas. Yeah. No, Lucas solved it. He installed not Neo4j desktop. He installed Neo4j Community Edition directly.
What's the difference?
Yeah, that's the question. Can you answer? So there's another version. It's not the desktop app version. He installed it directly somehow with Yarn or npm or how the.
No, yeah, I think it's like it's a tar, I think, file. Like, yeah. I mean, it's basically similar to the way we installed it, I guess. Robert, there's like, and I mean, we're trying to see if Sam can try it on his and see if he can get past it as well, and then you know, maybe we need to update the documentation to just tell people to use the community server instead of the desktop.
I don't know why they had difficulties to seed the database.
Yeah,
we really don't know why.
Yep. Here's the link to the as a tar that you. It's even a different version. It's like version 3.5.3, and like the Neo4j desktop is version 1.1.15. You know.
Yeah, but I think that's about the Neo4j desktop has its own version numbers. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And the machine which runs inside is different then.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like the Neo4j desktop is newer, right?
But does anyone is on Neo4j desktop and got it to work?
Yes. Wolfgang is on desktop and got it to work. Joseph is, Federico is, but recently we don't really know exactly if there's any changes on our side or on their side or what, but like Sam and Luke have both gotten blocked by like getting set up with the Neo4j desktop.
Okay, fair enough. So, well, up to you if you want to keep it in the documentation. If it's making troubles, I would say just install Community Edition or use Docker.
Yeah.
Yeah, the question is maybe we can wait when the next person has a problem that maybe it's really a hint, no? So I saved the link now in case that we would put the Community Edition in the front and not the desktop version.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would, if we do end up doing that, I think I would like recommend like what we did last time, which is like maybe not linking directly to that, because as you pointed out, like that will get outdated as new versions come out. But maybe just like, you know, send them still to the download, the Neo4j download, and then like remove instead of having the desktop screenshot, have a screenshot of the tab for Community Edition, you know. But
okay. But yeah, okay. What do you say, Robert? We should wait or until the next people have problems? And I don't know, does Sam solve his problem now through the community edition or not? We don't know.
No, I mean, I think I don't know for a fact, but I think he hasn't. He just probably hasn't gotten time to get back to the.
Yes, probably. So I would say I would recommend to wait a little bit until we really figure out what the problem is.
Yeah, I agree.
Is it okay with you, Robert?
Yes, sure.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'm not the person who can decide on that because I'm on Arch Linux and I just use my package manager and I'm good.
And at the moment, I use the Docker version actually. No? So I'm completely on Docker at the moment.
Yeah, that's. I mean, on Docker we can rely on everything else, right?
So I rewrite the description now. I input the instructions for Docker installation now, and so it's
all right. Just put in, leave it like it is. We'll wait until the next person comes up with.
No, in general, you know, the Docker installation for the backend.
Yeah, just put the Docker installation at the top, so people try out that first, and if they really want to, they can also do the local installation. There are some people who don't want to go the Docker way.
Yes. So I put it first, Docker.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
No? Okay.
What about like, have you been working on anything else like pair programming's tutorials or something we can help you out? Are there any blockers on your side?
Yeah, a blocker which I have is the testing on Docker in my Docker environment. Yeah. Matt told me which commands I have to use for testing, but for some reason it just don't work in the Docker environment.
What does not work?
Yeah, what does not work? Matt, can you help us out a little bit?
I mean, I don't remember the exact output. We can show you, but like running like Docker compose exec and then web app and trying to run the Cypress tests doesn't like you can't run the Cypress test from the container.
Whoa! Don't do that. I would not run Cypress tests from the container. This is also not the setup on Travis. So please don't do that. I don't know what will happen if you try to run Cypress tests in the container. Just try to run Cypress. It's okay to run Cypress on the host system, I would say.
It doesn't work.
You can run front-end tests, like component tests, or you can also run the Jest tests in the backend container. But if you want to run full stack tests, I mean, that's requiring the backend and the front end. And you would have to, I think it's all right. We don't have to Dockerize everything, just run Cypress from your host system.
Yeah, but then I have to have a to use my local installation for that.
Right, but it's not that much. You just have one thing that you have to install, like Cypress. Well,
you don't actually even need that because you can run you can have a script that runs that I added actually to that to that PR that maybe we'll end up removing, but that runs Cypress from a Yarn. Like you can just run Yarn E2E local and it'll run Cypress. But like it'll run it with the local Cypress instead of installing Cypress globally.
Yeah, so I run it locally. I have to admit it's not that clean because if I have to provide that dependency on my host system, but I think it's all right. So full stack testing is an advanced topic, and let's just have the documentation for anything else. Because if you would make it in a clean way, you would have to create yet another container just for Cypress and run the tests from there. We don't want to have the container. We don't want to put Cypress in the front-end container because it's part of the development dependencies. And the features, I mean, you could run it from the front end.
I don't have to. It was just a question, okay, why it's not working? I have to understand. And I and Matt like to understand why it is not working. And I have the local installation, so I have no problems to use it if I needed to use it locally.
Yeah. By the way, we have a new member. I think it's Francesco. Is that correct?
Yes.
Hey, Francesco. Yep.
Can you hear me?
Francesco,
yes, we can.
Okay,
Just
okay.
last
time we had problems.
Say it again.
No, just last time I had problems with the microphone, so I was just checking.
Ah, nice. Yeah,
Francesco, really clear.
Yep.
For disambiguation, I talked about Francesco yesterday, but that wasn't you. That was another Francesco. I met a Francesco here in Berlin. So you're the Francesco who's interested in ActivityPub,
yes.
Right?
Yes,
nice.
The Italian one.
Yeah, the other Francesco is also from Italy. He's a friend of mine who's living here.
Okay.
So now,
makes sense, actually, Francesco.
Yeah, just to avoid confusion, because probably Matt will confuse it with
the other. I was like, oh, we're supposed to pair together. Oh no, different Francesco. But we can pair together as well, Francesco, if you're interested.
Again?
I said we can pair together as well if you're interested.
Okay.
Pair programming sessions.
Okay.
Cool. So, Wolfgang, anything else?
Yes, you and I, we developed or figured out something about the search issue, and took a lot some code from the alpha into the Nitro version and changed it. So now we have a search field in the Nitro version. It cannot search actually because the queries for the GraphQL are not there at the moment, but the field is kind of working. So
nice.
And Matt and I and maybe the Luke or Lucas at 6 p.m. UTC today. No? We try to get forward with it.
Yeah, I mean, I double booked myself a little bit, so I was going to see if I could do it a little bit later. But like then with I was hoping Luke would be here so he could run it past him as well. So I mean, I'm available. I can skip the other thing, but if it's okay with you, I would maybe like to do a little bit later than that, but not too late because it's kind of already getting late for you. But yeah, and I want to be there in case Luke is like, that's the time he's available and he can't skip, like he can't reschedule for later, then I'll just cancel the other thing. But
yep. For me, it's okay, Matt. If it's not too late, you think an hour later or?
Less than that, like half an hour later, maybe.
Yeah, no problem with me.
So then, like 6:30 p.m. UTC, maybe. Cool, awesome.
Okay, wonderful.
So Robert went to grab the phone call, so I guess I'll go real quick. Francisco, you're. I think you're new to the community meetings. Robert, I was just gonna go since you went to answer the phone. Are you?
I have to. Can I be for a couple of minutes off?
Yes, of course. I'm gonna go give my report.
No problem.
Cool, no worries. So for me, like, working with Wolfgang, I guess you wouldn't have seen Wolfgang because I think I just said in the Slack channel. I want to have pairing sessions on Mondays and Wednesdays as well, or Mondays and Thursdays as well. So I'm looking for like times that like in the afternoon my time, so like night your time. And I was thinking, something around like 6 p.m. UTC on Mondays, and like maybe a little bit earlier, or either a little bit earlier or a little bit later on Thursdays. Like I could probably do either like 4:30 p.m. Wait, no, 4:30, no, because that's in the middle of this. 5:30 p.m. UTC. Wait, what time is it now? UTC? It's like it's 4:30 UTC, I think, at the moment, or is it 3:30 UTC?
It's 3:30.
3:30. Yeah, sorry, 4:30 CET. So I could do like either 4:30 p.m. UTC or like 6:30 p.m. UTC, whatever works better for other people who are interested in having other pairing sessions. Because yeah, I feel like it would be nice for me, like at least on my, I have a kind of a different day on Fridays, but like my Monday through Thursday schedule to be having like these regular pairing sessions. That way I don't like get busy doing other things and then like the day passes by so quickly. So yeah, Wolfgang, I definitely would like to get your feedback on those times and how that works for you.
So Monday 6 p.m. UTC, it's okay with me. On Monday there are very often human connection meetings like meet the team and things like that. So that would be at 8 p.m. UTC. They're starting at 8 p.m. UTC.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but we could have 2 hours then.
Yeah.
On Thursdays, that depends a little bit.
Okay.
Probably would be okay. 4:30 p.m. UTC. Yeah, that could be possible.
Okay. Yeah, and it doesn't have to be. You don't have to be at every pairing session. Just yes. Like in general, if it's a good time for you, like I'll continue having them, and hopefully you can join me every time, and if not, then I'll see you in the the other one.
Will be possible often. I think so. I hope so.
I think this is actually even a better time for you, Robert. Like than in the morning. A bit of a night owl.
The afternoon?
Yeah, like this 7 p.m.
I'm an owl, so later is better.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So, anyways, like if you want to pop in on one of the sessions, like,
sure.
Yeah.
I also I want to encourage you to help Greg. We had a meeting this morning, and he's really frustrated because he's not getting along with the Cypress tests. He's like spending days on it. And I would like to encourage you all to help him out on his current pull request. He's writing the editor for Human Connection, like the editor where you can actually write contributions like posts or comments. And he's kind of stuck on that. Like he's kind of stuck on writing the full stack test for it. He was very frustrated in a way that he's actually questioning if test-driven development is actually a good thing.
Wow. Okay.
Like he says, test-driven development is of course a good thing, and he acknowledges that it's better and it's providing better quality, and this is how it should be. But maybe we should, until we we can switch from the base to the Nitro. Maybe we should or something like that. So maybe we don't have to do an exception if you could help him out with Cypress. He's really in trouble.
What's the name of the editor? Right? Yeah.
I can provide you some links.
Yeah, please.
In Nitro Web, and I think it's called.
I mean, I think we kind of like we've done some. We started off test driving it, but then like the Cypress test that we wrote, there's only like a couple steps really, and there's only one scenario, and then we kind of went into trying to like implementing it, and then like. You gave a PR review, and you were suggesting we write some component tests as well, because like we don't have, to get the feature actually working, like we would need to be touching the back end as well. And so then we started doing some component testing, but then we've kind of like the last couple of sessions we've been just trying to have a better idea of what exactly the code is doing, and. Yeah. Eliminating code that we thought was not really doing anything. And yes. I think we still have some component tests to write. And then I guess it's interesting because like it doesn't feel like it could get merged into Nitro Web before we figure out the backend stuff, because the Cypress test will fail. like, because it's not
up to you. Up to you. It's perfectly fine. So just like if you want to make Greg happy, then he's like, you would be very grateful for that.
Okay.
It's up to you. You're the volunteers. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah. No, that
for me the problem is now I started to learn Vue.js and I'm inside of this, and then when I would like to get a little bit forward with it. Yes. And
yeah.
when I do now the Cypress thing and so on, then at the end nothing is really done.
Yeah.
No?
You have to learn a lot at once.
Well, I mean, Wolfgang, not to discount what you're saying, but like you did have like a crash course in Cypress already, and like, you know, you've already helped write Cypress tests.
Yes, that's true. But as long as I don't sometimes not really understand what the real is doing, I don't know if there's a lot of sense when I write tests for it.
Yeah, no, I get you. I mean, I like test-driven development as well, but like I find that like the less I know about the implementation, like the harder it is for me to imagine the types of tests I need to be writing, like, and writing good tests. And so I've been getting in kind of a bad habit that seems to be like with me working with JavaScript of like implementing the feature first, getting it all working, like manually testing that it's all working. And then I guess that's something else that I wanted to bring up is like using like coveralls or coverage, whatever, for the code base, because that's something that's helped me on like doing the React front end is like then looking back and it's like showing, you know, detailed like output of what's being tested and what's not being tested, and that helps me to like be able to, you know, retrospectively write tests, which, you know, is not TDD, but at least like, you know, it's not getting features merged in that are not tested.
We'll probably merge in features that are not tested for a couple of weeks. Anyhow,
but if you, I mean, and I think maybe, you know, sometimes you need to, like, it depends on what the overall goal is. But I think that if you get in the habit of doing that, then like there's quite a lot of work going back and writing tests for everything for someone. Whereas like, you know, ideally, you know, we would be trying to create a culture where we get better at like writing tests, and so when we finish the feature, it includes the tests. But
it's a hard way. It's a hard way.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Any blockers?
No, I'm not. I wouldn't say any blockers.
Right.
I mean, there is the, you know, for the search feature, like the backend / API that we haven't really had a chance to look at and how that all works.
Yes, and Robert and Greg wrote something in the pull requests or in the issues about what they have done, or what kind of ideas you have for the API.
Yeah, that's the perfect transition to what I was doing. So I can show you my screen if you want. Matt, can you please let me share my screen and also share this screen on the broadcasting. So I just pushed a commit, which provides a search index on the backend.
Oh, nice.
Which is called full text search, and now it doesn't work. Oh, it does. Okay, fair enough. That's interesting. It shouldn't work. It does. Why? Anyhow, so the search index currently now is on the posts and the title and the content. So if you search for something and you have posts, then it should return the posts. And that was harder than expected, because in order to do that, you need to run this called a db index, full text create node index, whatever method in Neo4j. You cannot do that if you don't have changed the password of the default user. And so I was thinking about what is the best idea. Well, I would love to have the migrations in the Docker file, But if I need to have the migrations in the Docker file, I have to change the password. I have to provide somehow the password in the Docker file, and then I'm passing in a secret. And we cannot push it on Docker Hub anymore, which makes things complicated.
Yeah.
And so I decided now to go for a bash script that's doing the magic. And you have to provide a Neo4j password. And then it's like changing the password of the default Neo4j user, and then it's creating the index. And that would also be the case if you would add more things, like more indices later on certain like users and posts and so on, like IDs, ID indices, and so on. So this would be the case where we would have to run all these. And I have to provide like a README for it. I also created now another Docker Compose YAML file, like the production, which does not have authentication disabled, like here. This disables authentication for Neo4j. And in the production environment, that would not be the case. Instead, you would have to pass in a Neo4j password, which is currently not a real secret, but something. And this took me a while to figure out. I don't know if that's yet a good solution, or
yeah,
we have to figure out. So now search works. The reason why I'm here right now is because we can do that right now, and we should see some posts. Maybe we're lucky. So do you see the whole idea?
Yeah, I mean, it's not exactly clear to me why you need to, like, it seems weird that you need to change the default user password.
Neo4j doesn't let you do anything if you didn't change the password.
Okay. Like, I mean, I guess like I've gone in and changed the password in like the browser, like the first time I used it. But what you're describing is like is not specific to Docker.
No. It's like Security4j, and
but then you just need to change it the first time. Like, what you don't need to run that script every time. You just need to run that once.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to run it every time. Otherwise, I could put it in the command of the container. So I want to have it run exactly once. If you run it multiple times, it will fail because this index here is already there, and there's no way to check for an index. And there's no way of saying created if not exists. Difficult. Yeah. But hey, the search index works, and it's returning data, and you can put in here, you can put in the search query here, search, then run it.
So we should be able to like pull down this branch and like get the backend running and test this in like with our front end and like run the Cypress test.
Yeah, that should be possible, but you have to, I don't know if you have to execute the production environment. We can try it out. It should be possible. So what you would have to do is you say Docker Compose exec neo4j bash, no, not bash, you would say migrate, and that will run the migrations, quote unquote. Okay?
Yeah.
That should be it. So that's what I did. The rest was legacy changes, because we have a couple of bugs, and we are hoping to get the bug fixes deployed tomorrow. But that's not related to the new code base. There are no blockers on my side, except that I feel I'm super slow.
What were the bug fixes for? Sorry.
The fixes where people cannot delete their accounts. So, according to GDPR, people have to be able to delete the entire account, including all user data, and that's just not possible. And they sent us emails, and we have to delete them manually because of a bug. Because of a bug which was introduced because we don't have no test, because we didn't have tests.
Yeah.
At the time. Something that might be interesting for Francesco because he's currently on the meeting. Francesco, you're so interested in how we want to collaborate with the other networks. Our current experience is that we at Human Connection are the only ones who are really trying to share experiences with ActivityPub. The other people are sometimes joining in, but there are not many people from outside who want to like collaborate on something. We had this Commons Pub thing, and we kind of dropped it because they were not very responsive at the moment, and it's just not as productive as so we can use it, right? And we probably implement the activity interface our own, and we currently have a separate repository which would proxy all read requests to the backend.
Can you say again?
So we have a new repository. I'll share the repository. And
the one that you sent in the Rocket chat.
Yes, it's that. And it's like another Node.js server. And
but,
this Node.js.
What you use to write the code? Which language?
It's JavaScript.
So you're building a pure ActivityPub JavaScript library. Is that what you're building?
Kind of. So I want to emphasize, actually, the repository is to collect like a feature specification. So the last link I shared is a link to a Cucumber test that describes and specifies how other applications could talk to Human Connection. So implementing the Webfinger protocol, for example. And I want to highlight or emphasize the testing part of that repository, right? We write the documentation, we have the specification, and we kind of learn how activity works, and we can put that information and that knowledge into a test. And we can run the test repeatedly and create a build, like set up a build pipeline and be always sure that our backend is ActivityPub compliant as well, at least what the tests as to the point that the tests are specifying, right? So at the moment, it seems that we're compliant to the Webfinger protocol, and there are a couple of new features which I found today. So apparently, there's also an activity node feature that seems to work. Send a note to the user's inbox. Right, and maybe other communities or other projects can benefit from having like executable documentation, right? They could take the documentation, the tests, and just change the step definitions and use it for their own application, right? So we are building something like an executable ActivityPub compliance test setup. Does that sound reasonable?
Yes. Look, what I see in that is happening, well, there is a lack of a central point where people can coordinate, which is something I've been trying to work with the ActivityPub team, and the situation seemed, well, it came out this socialhub.network place that is the discourse forum that I was looking for months, trying to push people to make one. And then I discovered, well, some people point me to this one that already existed. So I said, to the ActivityPub team, hey, why you don't just link that in the ActivityPub.rocks website? The situation was like, okay, tomorrow I will put the link. This is the last update on GitHub, and nothing happened. And then I discovered there is this FOSDEM 2019 that is an event. You can see in the forum they are speaking about that. There is an entire section talking about that.
Could you give us a link to the discourse forum, please?
Not now. So it seems they are going to talk about this topic in this conference and other stuff, of course, because this is the main problem. No, I mean, we are building a technology that needs human connection. No, seems a joke, but in as a central point, it needs coordination, but at the same time, the protocol is about coordination, and so it's like a loop. So there must be a beginning, no, to coordinate people. So let's see what they are going to do, because I think they realized that it's not enough to build a protocol in this case, since it's a lot flexible. They need to give something also about coordination. Some people expert on also on the human side, because this, as you say, yes, we found this library is interesting, but then people don't give much feedback. No, it's a human problem. And in the other side, I'm studying psychology of humanity, and we got an education that is not in the direction of cooperation. It's in the direction of fight each other. So you see, things align in a way that we have to make a revolution that is not only technological but also on the human side. And this is also something that I see in what I'm doing right now. I'm doing activism in my little community, and I see the same patterns and the same challenge. So if you see that the stuff that is already out is not good for you, well, for the moment, I think it's better if you have the capacity, the time, and everything, the team to go on. Anyway, it's good having different kind of codes, no, that they are basically going all in the same direction, and providing different choices. A guy is also building a library in PHP, for example. That is the guy from the plugin Pterotype, that is a plugin for WordPress. That is pretty interesting, because with that library you can build stuff on top on WordPress or other platforms, PHP based. So, well, for me it's good anyway. My suggestion is, since these forums looks like that is going to be or the central point or a part of a central or anyway, it's a place where a lot of developers meet, because you can find Prismo, PixelFed, Amphora, Funkwhale. There are a lot of people that are looking here. I mean, ActivityPub developers. So my suggestion is to post there what you're doing, I was trying also there to make some improvements, and also there things are a bit stuck. So if you can help me, saying, hey, yes, we like this idea, because there is a topic that I'm going to share with you. This one, add more. No, this one is not mine. They created even another one. Okay, this is talking about the same thing. So
you're not sharing your screen, by the way. If you want to show us your screen, there you go. So
I just sent to you. So here what I'm suggesting is create new categories, and this was meant for you, for Common Nectar. So you have a place to say to create your category, your human connection, and say and start to put their requests for help or for collaboration. This is why I was pushing for creating these categories, but I don't know. People like the idea, but still, look, nothing happened. Yeah. Maybe a further push.
Yeah, I would do the following now. So we have bi-weekly meeting anyways, right? So we are used to have the rocket chant to announce the link for the meeting. The next time, which will happen next Thursday, so we have a bi-weekly meeting on Thursday, 2 p.m. CET, 1 p.m. UTC, for connecting with other initiatives through open standards. And next time, that will be in today in 1 week. We are sending the link to the meeting in the forum.
Yeah,
maybe a couple of hours in advance, so people have the option to join. Another thing we can also put there is a link to this repository we're working on, because the implementation doesn't really matter to us. The repositories, like, we did decide on creating our own implementation of ActivityPub and doing things from scratch in a way. It was like we couldn't find a test specification, like executable documentation that's when an application is considered ActivityPub compliant, except like this form on ActivityPub rocks. We have like where you answer a couple of questions, and then it creates you how they call it, implementation report or something. But that's not what I mean. Like, I really mean like a test where you send a request to the running application, and then you expect a certain response. So that's what we are building, and I think that will be interesting for a lot of people, because you can take out the tests out of the repository and just use it for another application. And you can check if the application is really ActivityPub compliant. So I will probably announce the repository there. So that's what I can do.
Yeah, just share what you're doing. What is the issue that you are trying to solve? I'm pretty sure you will find other people that face the same. And little by little, I hope, especially after this event, I don't remember when it is, I'll check. I hope things move forward to have something, some coordination place, or I mean, it's something that they did for the Linux kernel. No, they built something to coordinate people, and I think, yeah, there is the same need here.
Right. Cool. Thanks. Yeah. Shall we? It's about 5 minutes to 5 o'clock CT in my time. Francesco, Matt, Wolfgang, are there more questions from your side? Are there any blockers? Anything you want to resolve? Anything you would like to talk about?
You're asking me?
I ask all of you. We have about 1 hour for this meeting, and it's about to be 5 o'clock, and I would like to wrap up the meeting, unless there are more questions from your side.
I mean, I had a quick question, like that Greg answered, but maybe I didn't understand the answer. Like, did you see about that issue that I'm facing, like with needing to like delete my token and like re-sign in every time, like every couple minutes, every couple seconds, every time I make a change?
Yeah, you have to delete the token in your web browser. Is that correct?
Yeah. And he was suggesting that it was like because of being on a different branch in the back end than in the front end, something like that.
It's because the JWT token is decoded in the front end, and the front end shouldn't decode the JWT token at all. You can actually check it out. There's, if you go to the store and then API or something, or auth, there's, just search for JWT in the front end repository, and you will find the line where it actually tries to decode the token, and that just always blows up.
So I can like
Greg has implemented in a branch, I think in the report branch, and he's just too lazy to take that out of this pull request and create a separate pull request for it.
Okay, but I can find that and maybe put in a pull request, fix that.
Greg is not a big fan of rewriting the Git history and taking out certain commits, creating separate pull requests for it. Like, he's always sending in one pull request with everything. Like, and you have a really hard time to do code reviews.
I mean, I did some rebasing this week, and I have to say I wasn't a big fan of that. It took me like an hour to like rebase my branch, and then I had like other pull requests that end up causing like a. But I did give me a chance to use like a Git cherry pick, which I always like using that when I get a chance.
All right, more questions?
Not for me.
Not from your side. Francesco, is there anything on you?
No question, but I discovered that they did the panel, and this is the link of the video. It's 1 hour, so good watching. I don't know. I haven't watched it yet, but maybe there is something interesting. There is Christopher Weber, that is one of the core developers of ActivityPub, and the guy I spoke with for the ActivityPub.rocks website, and I don't know, time to watch and see if something moved forward.
Yeah, they didn't set up the course on the Discourse forum, so I cannot play the video.
It takes a while to load, but to me it loaded.
Yeah, you have. I can go to the link directly. Yeah, if I go to the link directly, I can also play the video. That's fine. Christopher Weber is the person, the person sitting right on the right side of the table, like with their sideburns.
People here are asking. I don't speak for my employer.
I think is the guy. I would say with the glasses. They all have glasses. I think the guy with the how you call the beard in the left and right.
The sideburns.
I think it's him, but I'm not sure. Yes,
okay, interesting.
Yeah, it's him. It's him. You can see if you click in the link of his name, you can see him, and yes, it looks like him.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so interesting. Thank you very much, Francesco, for the video. I'll probably check it out.
Yeah, me too. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, cool. Well then.
I also suggest you to follow him on Mastodon, because he publish I see he publish updates on this.
I think I followed him already. I have seen this video before on Mastodon, so I think I follow Christopher Weber already.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Good. Then I would say let's wrap up.
Yes.
And close the meeting, huh?
Sure.
Cool. And so unless there are any more questions, I would say let's have an awesome week and awesome weekend. Happy Valentine's Day.
Ah, yeah.
Same to you.
Yeah. Got to get off early today.
Yeah. And I would say let's see each other.
Yep.
Maybe
Have a
tomorrow,
nice weekend.
maybe next week.
And maybe
then we'll
see us
post
later.
Yeah, we're going to be
Alright.
playing later, so I'll see you later, Wolfgang.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go.
Bye bye,
See you.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.